Welcome to another episode of Hazardous Verbal Waste. I'm your host, Shira Chan. Today is actually Friday, February 7th, 2020. Normally I'd be recording on Saturday or Sunday, but this weekend I have a lot on my plate, so here I am recording today. Got a lot of really cool stuff to go over this week, including the finale of my now 4-part series on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Limited list. So without further ado, let's get right down to it, shall we? Well, here we are at the end of the series on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Limited list as put out by Konami that went into effect January 20th. Unfortunately, no one contacted me to give me any kind of report on what is going on with the current local metas and national metas. So, I just have to give you my perspective. It obviously affected the Thunder Dragon deck, and frankly, I'm happy that the Thunder Dragon deck is a non-starter at this point, now that the heavy hitter for the deck is gone. I did see a lot of support for Link monsters, and a lot of certain Link decks getting hit. So it's really up in the air at this point. I did want to let you guys know that this April, there will be a regional qualifier in Seattle. My plan, I was going to be a judge for that particular tournament, but I have decided not to be a judge for that tournament. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to contact the tournament organizer. I'm going to get his permission to set up Table 1 as a feature match table. I'm going to bring my camera equipment, and I'm going to get the video of those matches. Then what I'm going to do is later come back home. I'm going to edit those videos in such a way as to take out the audio and do a commentary track over the video. And hopefully this could become a template for others to go to regional qualifiers and YCSs to provide coverage for these events, since right now Konami is not providing coverage for these high-level events. What I'm hoping to be able to do with this is provide you first-hand account of how the current Forbidden Limited list has changed the meta. I am also considering going to a few locals and doing the same thing, setting up a Table 1 as a feature match table, and possibly even getting some interviews with people as to how they believe the ban list has changed the meta. Unfortunately, because of the lack of response to my call to action for you guys to contact me and let me know how the Forbidden Limited list has changed your local metas, I really don't have much else in the way of Yu-Gi-Oh! News this week. So, on to the next segment. In Pokemon news, Pokemon Home shock release date news. Proof that online Pokedex will launch today. Pokemon Home is the new cloud-based storage solution for longtime fans of the series. The upcoming app gives fans the chance to deposit and store excess Pokemon before trading them with fellow players. Available on iOS, Android, and Nintendo Switch, it will be compatible with Pokemon Sword and Shield, as well as Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. Nintendo previously announced a February 2020 launch for the app, although it didn't give an exact date. However, if the Pokemon Home website is anything to go by, it looks like the app could launch sooner than expected. As you can see from the images available on Express.com, one of the advantages of Pokemon Home is that subscribers will receive free gifts. Quote, "You can receive mystery gifts in the mobile device version of Pokemon Home," the description reads. With this feature, you can receive mystery gifts for Pokemon Sword and Shield, as well as gifts specifically for Pokemon Home. Pokemon received in Pokemon Home can be directly deposited in a box in Pokemon Home. If you look a little closer at the images available on the Express.com website, which initially covered this, you'll see that the first gift is set to go live at 9:41 p.m. on February 7th, which is today. A surprise Pokemon Home release certainly isn't beyond the realm of possibility, although a more likely launch date is February 27th. Widely known as Pokemon Day, February 27th is the anniversary of the original Pokemon games launching in Japan. It's the same date Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution will make its first appearance on Netflix. Pokemon Go is also getting in on the act, with celebratory pocket monsters appearing in the wild around Pokemon Day. Armored Mewtwo will also reappear in Pokemon Go, alongside clone Pokemon like Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise. As for Pokemon Home, the app will feature a paid tier with additional bonuses for fans. Nintendo explains more. Quote, if a user is enrolled in a premium plan, they will be able to move Pokemon from Nintendo 3DS Pokemon titles to Pokemon Home using Pokemon Bank. Once a Pokemon from Pokemon Bank is moved into Pokemon Home, it cannot be moved back to Pokemon Bank. Fortunately, however, Nintendo will the Pokemon Bank and Poké-Transporter available at no cost for 1 month at launch. Quote, trainers will be able to bring over Pokemon from various Pokemon series games using Pokemon Bank and Poké-Transporter. Once they have their Pokemon in Pokemon Bank, trainers will then be able to move the Pokemon to Pokemon Home. Fingers crossed that we'll get some more Pokemon Home news later today, if not, early next week. That's pretty much all we have for Pokemon news this week. On to the next segment. In gaming news, PS5 and Xbox Series X have a hidden weapon that will change the gaming industry forever. Now, there's a lot of talk about hardware and pricing these days when it comes to the upcoming PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X consoles. Some of the most recent rumors say that the Series X might feature a better graphics processing unit than the PS5, while Sony's console will beat the new Xbox in the RAM and SSD departments. Moreover, Sony might be looking to undercut the Xbox's price and offer buyers a more affordable, if less powerful console. But a gaming industry veteran says that it's not just the massive raw power of the new consoles that we have to pay attention to, as we might be missing the bigger picture. In an interview with Gaming Bolt, Typhon Studios co-creator Alex Hutchinson from Journey to the Savage Planet said that the PS5 and new Xbox's top-of-the-line hardware won't have as much of an impact on game design as some people think. The real hidden weapon of both these consoles lies in the cloud, according to him, which would enable never-before-seen gaming experiences. He says that the super-fast SSD drives or the equally fast GDDR6 memory of the Series X will mean almost nothing when it comes to game development. Again, that's from a design perspective, which is an important detail. Those specs will definitely matter when it comes to rendering those games and ensuring that the console loads game content without any delays or loading screens. Hutchinson explained that the new Zen 2 processors will deliver more power, but game developers will have an even better weapon at their disposal for making PS5 and Xbox Series X games, and that's the cloud. Quote, I think the cloud and being able to have large-scale simulations and persistence will be the big new things this generation, not so much the boxes themselves, but what they connect to when you're not looking. And we've come to expect the cloud to be an integral part of future PS5 and Xbox experiences when it comes to game streaming, but also when it comes to other gaming-related features. Hutchinson's point of view is all the more interesting as he says the cloud can actually alter the gaming experience on the console itself. However, the gaming exec didn't provide explicit examples as to what the cloud will do for PS5 and Series X games. Earlier this week, a report looking at the current status of gaming revealed that Microsoft's biggest worry might not be the PS5, a console that seems to be the favorite for winning the holiday season, but Amazon and Google. Both have huge cloud businesses and both could grow into major game streaming players. Now, Google has launched its own cloud gaming product, and Amazon is expecting to launch its streaming service later this year. That's all we have for video game news this week, and pretty much all the news we have in general. On to the final thoughts. Before we get to the final thoughts, here's a quick word from some other shows you might find entertaining.
Hey, I'm Chen.
And I'm James.
We're from A Bloody Mess Podcast, the badly researched true crime podcast.
We straddle the boundaries between documentary and comedy, and our aim is to leave you laughing and thinking, wow, I didn't know that.
So once you're done with this podcast, add us to your download lists and give us a go. Have a nice day.
Bye.
There's been a murder of podcast.
Hello! Do you listen to podcasts? Did you seriously just give me that look? I knew you listened to podcasts, but do you listen to the Bare Naked Ladies? Wait, don't hit fast forward. Yes, there's a band out there called Bare Naked Ladies. They are quirky, fun, comedic, and excellent musicians. If you love alternative 90s music with a little jazz, rap, and country mixed in at different times, then you've got to try this band out. And we will lead you through a journey of getting to love this band. We have 3 or 4 people with different levels of bare naked experience. We have Aaron, who's our music expert that breaks down each song. We will try to be informative, but also, we're all friends, so we like to have as much fun as possible. If you are a moderate fan of BNL, then you'll find new experiences and information. If you're a BNL fanatic like me, then I bet you too will find a song that is a deep dive that you never knew of. We sometimes have guests after the first letter. Oh, did I not mention that? We are Bare Naked ABCs, and the ABCs represents that we discuss the songs alphabetically. So come try us out on all platforms where podcasts are downloaded. Bare Naked ABCs. And no, we are not nude during the recordings.
Bare Naked. Bare Naked. Bare Naked. ABCs.
Hello, future listeners. We are Historical AF. I'm Ashley.
I'm Keena.
And I'm Natalie.
We are 2 librarians and a historian bringing the funny, weird, spooky, and morbid historical nuggets you never knew you needed in your ear holes every Sunday.
And once a month, we bring you extra AF episodes full of your stories and history in the news.
And we do this while hitting the giggle water and gracing the world with our foul mouths and wit.
So if you love to laugh and you like history, true crime, and the paranormal, then we are the podcast for you, and your girls can't wait for you to join us.
You can find us on all major podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. For a full list of ways to listen, go to historicalafpodcast.wordpress.com. And while you're there, you can check out the photos that accompany each episode.
Yeah, bye. We'll see you soon. I don't know. That'll probably scare them away.
Yeah.
Probably.
Come to us.
Come to the dark side. We have vodka.
And
Yeah.
cookies.
Hell yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Well, here we are at the end of yet another episode of Hazardous Verbal Waste. I hope you've been both informed and entertained. If you have any questions or concerns regarding a segment from this episode, or if you have an idea for a future segment, there are several ways you can use to contact the show. You can email me. The email is hazardousverbal@gmail.com. You can go to the website hazardousverbal.com. There you can find a contact form that you can use, as well as links to my social media accounts and my Twitch stream. Or if you would like to leave a voice message, you can contact me via Skype. The Skype ID is Ichimoto1. Any messages you send me, I will read on a future episode. Or if you send me a voicemail message through Skype, I'll play it on the air in a future episode. Well, this episode has been a little disappointing. not a whole lot of news to cover, and of course, nobody got back to me as to how the new Forbidden Limited list for Yu-Gi-Oh! Has affected their local meta. Now, I realize that it's only been a few weeks, and so some of you may not have had a chance to play in a local tournament. I would highly appreciate any information you guys could provide in this regard. That's pretty much all we have for this week. Until next week. This is Shiro-chan signing off. Peace.